Alright, hi. So I was in London yesterday and I was coaching 3 different sales teams, each selling slightly different digital marketing propositions. And it was very interesting when you get onto the sales floor and you listen to the calls they're making as well, because you really get to see where they're winning with the training you give, but also you get to see where the problems are and where things are slightly slipping. And one thing that stood out is that there's this common thing people do in sales that they don't realize, and it really kills them quite early on in the call. So there's a kind of a formula, if you like, that I've thrown at people over the years, and it makes a massive difference. It's really simple. Those of you that do it might not even realize that you do, but it's one of the reasons why you get ahead. So here's the thing. So for instance, if you're calling to, as you might call it in your world, you might call it a gatekeeper, or if you're trying to get past someone, or indeed if you're having any kind of conversation with a decision maker, what you're trying to do at all times is ensure that control of the conversation is in your hands. As far as you're directing the structure, you're nudging them in the right direction, and so on. Now, losing control of a call, it doesn't mean that you're letting someone talk, because letting them talk is important, of course. The prospect has to speak, otherwise you're never going to get the detail you need to really get the juicy information to ultimately be able to sell and tailor a package effectively. But losing control means that you're on the back foot and they're calling the shots, which isn't really an ideal position to be in across the length of the call. So the equation or formula, if you like, is really simple. It's question or command equals control. So it's really simple. And again, those of you who are doing it, you'll probably be like, yeah, I know that, but many people don't. So what I'm saying here is, if someone was to ask me a question, if someone says, "What's your name?" and I answer, "My name is Richard," they still have control of this conversation. Whereas if I respond with, "My name's Richard, what's your name?" it's a very simple example, but I now have control of this conversation. So I've asked a question, and it's about taking it back, okay? So the reason why this kills so many people is, for instance, when they are cold calling in telesales and they call to a gatekeeper or a receptionist or a PA or whatever, and they say, you know, "Hi, it's Richard, I'm calling from this company," and then they're asked, you know, "What's the call about?" To answer, right, "Oh, it's regarding this," and then just wait and hope that it's going to work out, is not the way to keep control of the conversation. What you want to do is answer the question and then move to say, "So is he available, please?" Or "So is he in the office?" Or "Thank you," which is actually a command, as if to say, "We're done here now, can pass on to go to the next stage." So giving a question or command retains, or rather brings back, control into your space. Likewise, I mean, this is for any conversation. This isn't just sales, to be honest. This is just generally in life. But even when I'm speaking now to a decision maker, if I'm asking questions, I have control. If I then get an answer, maybe that answer then is elaborated on by that decision maker, I want to then answer a question they might ask and then continue, by then giving a command. So let's do this, or then ask a question, for instance. And if I do that, I retain control of the conversation. It's so powerful. So, whenever you're answering someone's question, don't just wait and hope it all works out. Suggest the next step. You called them after all. You're chairing this discussion, so act accordingly. That's the way to look at it. I hope that helps. It's a major shift for people when they get this right. And you've got to be aware of it as you go through the call. Always issue a question or give a command, and you retain control.